Hello everyone, I'm Susan Boback, the card connoisseur, and I'd love to tell you more about all the variety of projects you can make with this Days Like This Memories and More card pack. Now, each of the catalogs that comes out every 4 months with Stampin' Up! Has had, at least for the last 5 years that I'm aware of, the Memories and More card pack, and it's coordinated with the inks and the other products, but it's also coordinated with the theme of the catalog. So this is our spring catalog, and the new Memories and More kit that's right in front of you here in the catalog on page 15 is, to me, one of the most versatile products you can purchase, whether you're a scrapbooker, a card maker, or even if you do journaling. These I recommend to everyone. Now, the package says that there's 54 cards. Some are 3 by 4 inch and some are 4 by 6 inch. They're double-sided, and with each package, like all the packaging with Stampin' Up!, it does tell you all the colors that it coordinates with. So whether you're a beginner or an avid stamper like me who's been paper crafting and crafting maybe all of my life, but mostly making cards for at least 30, maybe 40 years, I'd like to show you some of the cards I've made with this Memories and More card pack, but especially I want to show you two that are part of my design group that's called Know Your Four. You might be able to find another video that I've done on Know Your Four, and what it is I've chosen 4 designs that I really like, that when I need a card and I just don't know what design I want to make, I have these 4 to choose from. So whether you're a beginner or an old-time card maker like me, I'm encouraging you to pick 2 or 4 of your favorite designs cards that you always have the materials for. You always have cardstock. You always have double-sided paper, which works really the best on this, and some glue, and really that's all you need. So this first one that I'm going to show you, I call it the front flip. And I call it that because, of course, the front flips up. Now, with each of these cards, there's variations and ways that you can step it up and make it more deluxe. But this is one of the cards from this spring's Memories and More card pack. And how you make this card is you take a A2 card, as we say, 5.5 this way, 4.25 across this way. And this is the fold. Now you're going to put the fold up at the top. But when you first cut the paper, you're not going to keep it folded, of course. You're going to open it right up. And you're going to cut just one layer of it. You're going to cut 1 inch up to the fold on both sides, and it's going to look like this. So you're going to cut up to the fold just on the top layer now, 1 inch up to the fold. Then your piece of paper that's going to go, you may as well cut it in it's a 4 by 6 to start with. So you're going to cut it down to, let's see, you're going to leave it at the 4 if you're using these cards and Memories and More packet. And then you're just going to cut a piece for each side here that's 3/4 of an inch instead of an inch like you cut it here. And the reason that I say the 3/4 of an inch is, if you can look closely here, there's this green cardstock edge all the way around. And that's how the designs are put together when the layering paper is 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch all the way around, so that you can see the cardstock. Now, so this piece right here is 4 by 3/4 of an inch, and you're just going to cut it and lay it down and glue it. Then this piece right here is 3.5 by 4. So 3.5 is this middle piece, and by 4. And remember, we started out with a 4 by 6 piece, so you're not cutting the height of it any smaller. We're just using the 4 inches. Then you glue it on, then you have the front flip. What I really like about this design is that you can use it to hold a gift card. So when you glue this one down, you're going to glue it on the inside, the bottom, and the outside, and then just carefully put it down. Remember not to put too much glue because it'll ooze out right here. And when you glue this side down, you're just going to put some glue, and that, of course, is on the reverse side. You're just going to put a little thread of glue on the outside layer, and then you're going to press it down. That leaves this open, and this is, I think, one of the reasons why I love this card so much is because you can make it just like this. You can add a white layer here and here. This is a perfect card for you to write a personal note. You have all this space here, then you can still put your happy birthday and sign your name. But I also like that this creates this little pocket here on the right. And sometimes when I'm sending a card, I've gotten in the habit of buying some $5 gift cards from Starbucks. Sometimes I want to give more than just a handmade card, but I'm not going to give a whole large gift. And it's perfect to just push a little or put a little bit of money right in there. So this, as I said, is called the front flip. This is one of my Know Your 4 designs. And I have used these color coordinated, pattern coordinated, isn't that funny? Memories and More card pack, page 15 from the new 2026 spring catalog. Now this other one I'm going to make right along. I'm going to make it for you. And here's my instructions if you want to take a screenshot of that, or if you want to refer to this as I go along. This is a Z-fold card. Yes, the basic is a Z-fold card. And this is another one of my Know Your 4 designs. Remember, my idea of the Know Your 4 is that I have 4 designs that I can make really quickly because I make it over and over again. I know the measurements by heart. I don't have to stop and ask myself, how am I going to do it? Which way am I going to fold it? I know this. So again, it's 5.5 by 4.25. Then you're scoring, you're not cutting. You're scoring or dividing in half the front piece. And if this is 4.25, then this at the half is 2 1/8. So you're going to score it at 2 1/8, as you can see here on my directions, and fold the front layer. Now, if I was doing a traditional Z-fold, I would do a pattern, I would do it like this. And if I was using one of these non-directional pieces of the Memories and More kit, this is 4 inches by 6, so I would cut 1 inch off, and then how I would attach that is just to this Z part. See, here's how it is a Z. So I would just attach it to the front part here, but when the person opens the card, they will see it like this, and then it will open like this. So the variations of this is that you could cut a layer that would just fit right on this front piece, and then when you open it, you could put the other piece that you cut in half right over here on this side, and then you could add white to these 2 inside layers. There's many varieties of this, and I'm not only going to show you one variety today. So this is my second of my Know Your 4 Z-fold with the Memories and More. Now what I've done is exactly as I've showed you. I've scored it at 2 1/8. I've folded it. My front layer is going to be 4 by 5 1/4, but on this pattern now, the pattern of your paper, as you can see right here on my instructions, the pattern of your paper is going to be landscape. That means the design is going to go this way, because we're not going to do the Z-fold like this. We're going to make a Z-fold into an easel card. So it's going to go like this. So the pattern of the paper that you use, you want it to go like this. You don't want the design to be going up and down, all right? So then this layer is the same size as if I would have done the card like this. So the layer, front layer, is 4 by 5 1/4. I'll just put the pieces on it and you can see how it's going to go together. Next, we're going to put a white layer on the inside, or you could decide to leave it off. That is the same size as the front. The optional white layer under the anchor is 4 by 5 1/4. Then we're going to put a centerpiece. I have this on the instructions as a die cut or a layer placed to the right or left. So I'm going to decide how I want it to go on here. Do I want to put it over on the side like this? Or do I want to put it over here? Because what we're going to be adding is a little calendar. Now these calendars I made up myself and I don't have them available to sell. You can, I'll put in the description the link where I buy my little package of calendars every year. So you're going to decide, do you want, maybe you just want this to go in the middle, and maybe you want to put your package of calendars down here. There's many different variations, but the key thing to this Z-fold easel is that there has to be something down here, which I call the anchor, to keep this piece of paper from sliding forward. So see, it could go just like that. And you could make a card. You could make it just like this, so that when the person opens it, they open it like this and they read it and then they place it down. So like I said, there's many variations, but I have designed this so that this, which is a piece of the Memories and More cards, I'm going to put this on the bottom. I'm going to have it go like that. And then I'm going to move my All Things Good way over to the left. And I'm going to put my calendar right here. Another variation of this, instead of using something like this for the anchor, you can put a little pack of sticky notes that would go right here. If you want to put a full 3 by 3 pack of sticky notes here, you would have to line this up so that this part right here, the Z, moves back far enough so that you can put your sticky notes on here. So you do have to have a little bit of thought with this. You do have to think about, do you want a calendar? Do you want a sticky note? Do you want a small sticky note? Do you want an anchor that goes across like that? Or do you just want to cut out some little thing that's going to go right here? It could be round, it could be small like this, as long as you attach it with some dimensionals so that it sticks up. Okay, so let's get started and we'll put this together. So I've already shown you how to do the Z and how to measure for that. That's right in here, the front layer and then the anchor, that. Now, I'm going to put the white layer on there because I really think this looks pretty nice and bright. So the glue that I'm using, uh-oh, what happened to it? Just a second, I see it. I've got to grab it. Okay, the glue that I'm using is the Tombow. We call it the green glue. But I'm sure that you might know that there's many different kinds of glues on the market. And whatever kind of glue you use, I'm going to instruct you to do just a fine thread is what I say. Of course, it's not going to work for me. Okay, this is what I mean by a thread. Can you see that? You don't need a lot. I always remind people we're not in elementary school using that thick paste. This gets tacky and it sticks really good, so I try to go all the way around. And sometimes I just put a little squiggly in there. And I also keep the fine tip down right here because I want it to be ready to use whenever I need it. So because this is cut like the other layers, you're going to have a little bit of an edge so that you can see make a green border there. I think that's good. All right, then press it down. So now I'm going to be playing with this. Do I want this to go way over here? And if I do, will my calendar fit there nicely? I think I'm going to trim a little of this off so that my calendar can fit and yet we can see the beautiful design of the butterfly print here. Now, you might be saying, well, isn't it too late to give a calendar in March? I think what I'm going to do, I didn't make any this year for Christmas, which I've done in the past. See, that fits a lot better. I'm going to start giving them during the month. It could be a birthday gift then. And during the month of the birthday, and then I will include, of course, the calendar for the rest of the year. And I don't know when the new calendars, I don't think that like 2027 calendars are out yet. But I guess you could consider that if you're giving this as a birthday gift in the second half of the year. Anyway, I'm not going to glue this on. This is just a sample. But it would go really nicely there. So now the key thing besides, there's two key things in this, I think, is you've got to have an anchor and you've got to decide how far back you want it to go. And you cannot glue this completely down. In order for it to work like an easel, you want to make sure to only put your glue on half of the card. And the best way that I have found is not to put it on the piece that you're adding on the top, but to put it right on here so that you know you won't get any of the glue on the card where you don't want it to go. Many of us have done that. If you do it, you're not alone. And get yourself a glue eraser, which takes off the dried glue from the places it got where you didn't want it to go. I promise you, you're not alone if you've done that. Okay, now I'm going to just put it on here. And I already will have to use my glue eraser because why? Because I put the glue too far over to the edge and forgetting that there would be a border there. So I'm going to be following my own directions. Look at that. You can read it in the back, filled with happiness. And that's how that goes together. And now I think because this is a springtime idea, I'm going to use this piece from one of the Memories and More cards. And I'm going to put some dimensionals all along the back so this can indeed be my anchor. I think the anchor is one of the most fun parts of this to do. Oh, maybe another one there. Sometimes I don't think you can have enough of these. And then they just have the peel off backing. These also come in a much smaller size, and they also come in black, which is really nice when you're working with darker paper and you don't want a white dimensional sticking underneath. Now I cut this to fit exactly, so there's going to be no, I don't think, no margin at all on the ends. So there it is there, and there it will go there. And as you can see, it's kind of top heavy, and it wants to keep going like that. So what I've done is I've just made sure to fold my card back and forth so that eventually it will hold down. I'll put my calendar on there. Something like that. So this is a Z-fold easel using the Days Like This Memories and More card pack. Let me put this up here again and see. I'll read through the rest of the instructions. The anchor can be 5.5 inch long or a small shape attached with dimensionals. And I have a star right here. Where the star is, you could put a mini pad of sticky notes, or you could put a calendar down there. The white layer is optional, and that goes underneath the anchor. And on this one, my flowers are the anchor. So this has been more projects with the Memories and More Days Like This card from the new spring catalog. But look in every catalog that comes out and you'll see a Memories and More pack where there's at least 50 double-sided card pieces. So thanks for watching now. Go get creative.